Appreciate you all coming and, you know, thrilled to come out with the W. That's the first thought. And, man, what a job by Kyra Gullidge on the boards. 21 rebounds. We talked about getting her a little bit more rest here and there, but, just felt like she was grabbing every rebound, and we couldn't afford to take her out. The couple of times we took her out, they end up getting a putback or two. And then she does a great job protecting the paint defensively. She's really doing a nice job for us right now. And she doesn't get the ball as much on offense as some other people. And for what she's doing, to have such a great attitude without getting a lot of plays ran for her, it's really refreshing to see in this day and age. People probably don't notice it, but it's something as a coach, I really respect it and very, very pleased with everything she's doing as a leader by example for our team. Good to have Leasia back. We had to win differently tonight than we won against Moorhead. Didn't play as many people because of some athletic matchups. Tennessee Tech's extremely athletic and very long. I thought we did a nice job. Some of the turnovers down the stretch were my fault because we probably should have gotten Asia Smith out a little more and played a couple of more people a few minutes to get her rest. I think she was fatigued down the stretch, and she made a couple of bad decisions on penetration, trying to throw low bounce passes to Kyra, when she's not going to catch those. And probably played too many minutes. She probably should have played 6 or 7 fewer minutes. So, that's on me as a coach. But just felt like we had to have who we had in the game. Great thing about it is the bench was still into the game. Everybody was hyped up about it and doing their job, being sold out to what we're trying to accomplish every possession. So just thrilled.
After the first quarter, felt like Howard had a lot more.
Well,
she had an easy go early.
What she have, 12, 13 points in the first quarter on 12 shots or something like that. Howard's a great player. Okay, she's one of the best in the league. She's tremendous at getting her shot off. She's going to get a shot if she wants to get a shot. And I don't care who you are defensively, short of, maybe Florida State has somebody or UConn or Baylor or Notre Dame, but in our league, she's going to get shots. And she's going to make a certain number, and she's going to put up points. I thought we did a pretty good job on her, and she had 28 points. The second quarter, though, I think she only scored 1 point. And, that was a big key. We switched 3 or 4 different people off on her. We tried to give them help, but the big thing was just stay between the ball and the basket and contest on her and make it as difficult as possible. Try not to send her to the free throw line, although we did early in the game. We fouled her on a 3-point shot. That's the one thing she's not great at. She's going to take it, and she makes it some, enough that you have to respect her and guard her, but you should never be fouling a 3-point shooter. And, we gave her some points that way, but she gets everything. She earns everything she gets. But I felt like we did a nice job. Some of the points she scored late, she just took the ball away from us one time, had a transition layup. We fouled her in transition. She got an offensive putback with a shot clock running down. We're in our zone, one of our zones, and they shoot an air ball, and we had 2 players right there by the ball, and she just caught it and laid it in. So that's 6 points right there that, we gave to her. But, again, what a player. She's an all-conference player. There's no question.
How were you guys able to get open a little bit more for the 3-point shots during the second half?
We spread the floor. We attacked, and the shots we took in the first half. We're telling the team attack. We want to get to the rim because I felt like if we ran our offense and reversed the basketball and attacked the basket, we could get to the rim against them. And in the first quarter, every time we attacked, we either got fouled or we got a good shot. So I felt like we were rushing a couple. I really felt like only one of the shots in the first half was a bad shot, per se, but they weren't great shots. In the second half, we were playing off penetration, and one of them, Leasia, just made a great shot. What you got to do. It's about players putting the ball in the basket on offense, but we spread the floor. We were able to attack them some, draw help in, kick, and people were ready to shoot. We shot it with confidence from the perimeter and the free throw line in the second half. Third quarter, third quarter, played with a lot more confidence on offense. Fourth quarter, we did up until about 5 minutes to go, and again, I felt like we needed to get as many possessions long possessions as possible to make them have to play defense. And there were a few there. We probably slowed it down a little too much, but we had turned it over a few times in transition, trying to force things with a 13-point lead, 14-point lead, 11-point lead, 10-point lead. So then I said, you know what, let's just slow it down. Let's execute in the half court. And we ran some things and were able to execute them.
And you got, with that, building up that 14-point lead, and eventually you guys ended up preserving a 6-point win. I mean, is this all part of the process of the team, if your team is learning how to close out games?
Yeah, it is, and it's when do you try to make – you don't have to make any great plays. Like, we have good enough players. They don't have to make great plays. They just have to make the simple play, and they'll score. They'll score on offense, and they'll make the right play on defense as long as they stay simple. KJ had a turnover splitting double team and transition against the press, and she didn't have to do that. She can slow it down and then go by them, So that's the one thing. And Asia, she hasn't been in the situation where she's got the ball in her hands late in the game a lot in tight ball games. She just hasn't, even though she's a senior, she hasn't played that role until now. So, she's learning that, and she knew she had made a mistake or two, and that's it's a process. We've got to continue to get better in that area and give Tech a lot of credit. Boy, Howard, late in the game, the last few minutes, she beat us to loose balls, and they called a timeout. The one she beat us to, I think there might have been maybe 2 minutes to go. I have to watch the film, but I don't know if y'all remember, she dove on a loose ball, slid on her back, and called a timeout.
Yeah.
And during that timeout, we talked about it as a team, like, hey, the reason you beat Morehead State the other night was because we won every hustle play down the stretch. We got every loose ball. We got every defensive rebound. And that's about toughness, and that's what we talked about going into this game. It was going to take to win, and we've got to have that togetherness and toughness down the stretch. And if you do that, you'll win the ball game. And then I thought the last minute and a half or so, I thought we got to some loose balls that could have ended up being turnovers, and we were able to make enough plays to win.